How are we going, everybody? Just having a quick look around the standard roses. Today we're going to go and visit our climbing rose, the arch that we've created, but I thought I'd come back and just show you how these are going. Look at this. Look at the beautiful new growth coming on here everywhere. So every cut that we've done here, we've left 2 or 3 buds and they're all sprouting up beautifully, nice and clean, really healthy. And it's always good to have a close look once they do sprout in case you've missed anything here, but these look great. Not all the same size, obviously, because some don't get as much sunlight. This one gets plenty. That one there you can see because of the mop top hasn't grown as much. It's copying a little bit of shade. That is, you know, you're getting plenty of sunlight there now, but I haven't cut these back. These are due to be cut this coming winter time, but that's going to grow another 1 or 2 feet outwards. So it'll be literally sitting over the top of this poor rose. And I'll clear it out a little bit so it doesn't shade it too much. And I'm hoping this one, look, it's a lot better than what it was when I first got here. It's a lot sturdier and it's all in the pruning as well. So we've done a pretty good job on this one, I reckon. Those 2 down there were on the brink of extinction when I first got here. They are actually starting to come good. This poor little soul here, so thin. It was one of the last ones put in here. It looks like it was replaced, but it has to be at least 3 years old. And for a 3-year-old standard rose, that is really looking quite small and almost malnourished, I could say. But that's because sun rises up that way. It's literally in darkness. It gets a little bit of sun here for about an hour, which is what keeps it alive. That one's a stunted one. It gets a little bit of sun from underneath and a little bit over the top once we go past the conifer. Let's go and check out the climbing roses. I've hacked right into those ones. If you remember a few weeks ago, I actually came here and cleaned this one up. It was a shambles. It was growing out in all sorts of directions. Actually, all of them have been like that. This is the first one that I tackled. Now, different to your typical rose, bush or standard, you don't cut it to an open vase shape. You cut it back to a couple of buds from the main stem. So I've created 3 main leaders running all the way across. You can see 1, 2, 3, and I've cut back all the laterals, all the side shoots that have come out here, like that here. See how thick that is? That was out here somewhere. It's useless. You need to cut it right back. Now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sprouts coming up here. Leaf nodes that are popping up, which are going to grow, and some of them may produce some flowers for you. So see that there? That there will develop and hopefully we get a couple of buds out of this. And that's the same thing all the way along. The aim is to create a nice long leader with foliage and flowers nice and tight, close. You don't want them sprawling out this far, out too far, because it gets untidy. And as a climbing rose, you need to keep it contained. It's not like your jasmine or a clematis plant where they can climb and sort of intertwine itself and then you can just hedge it off nice and neatly. You can take to it with a saw, you can take to it with a hedge trimmer, but at the end of the day, these plants need to be cleaned up like this so you can get nice tight growth. Now, I did this about a month or so ago, and I did about 3 days ago the other ones. Come and have a look at them. This one here, folks, I never pruned back at all. Well, I cleaned it up. I sort of cut it back to shape, but I never cut it back to create the right shape. And you can see how gnarly it is here. We've got some old wood here. We've got some really bad shapes going on here. Look at this stuff here. I didn't do this. This is much older than 4 years. That's how long I've been here. So this stuff here, now what I'm trying to do, I should have taken a photo of it beforehand, but I just couldn't wait. I got stuck right into it. Now what I'm going to be doing is actually removing this main shoot. Not at the moment, but I'm going to replace it eventually with 1, 2, and possibly 3 here. You can see I'm trying to establish them already. 1, 2, and 3. Now this is already inside. I've got to swing this back outside, get it on the outside so I can train it. But because it's been cut back, well, not in the right way, as a climber is concerned, we've lost its main leader. So we've got to re-establish a new shoot from here on. So we are going to have a couple of knuckles or knee joints going on here, which will basically become the new shoot, hopefully. And then we can cut all the old ones off, like that one there as well. It's not one shoot, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 shoots going on here. So it's going to become like a bush again. But that's okay. For the short term, we'll allow that to happen because I don't want to kill it. But as soon as these take a strong hold and I can see some good growth out of them, I'm going to remove the rest of that on top. And the same on this side. This was a bush. This was almost pruned like a bush rose. And it shouldn't be. See, because I've cut it back. I didn't cut it back completely hard here. I need to get some growth so I can keep it alive. And as it starts to grow off, I'm going to thin it out again down the bottom so I can. And I'll show you what I mean by thinning out. I'm talking about cutting some of this stuff off here like that. Just cut that off, remove that completely, and even cut that back too, because I've left a little bit more than I should have initially Wasn't sure if it's going to take off. It's already alive. New shoot coming on there. That one over there is going to be the second one. And the third one, well, we'll try and work out if we get another sucker coming out of the base here, we can train it up from down here all the way up, and we'll have our 3 litres to run up. And this rose arch here, folks, was beautiful once upon a time. It was completely covered in flowers in its full flight when it's in full bloom, which is great, but cutting it back, we found we had a lot of dead wood in there as well. And I've hacked right into this one here. There's not much left of it, so I'm going to get a good show out of it, but not as prolific as it was in previous years. Maybe the second flush of flowers, after the first prune we do the dead heading, we'll get something out of it, but black grit's going to make the world of difference in producing more flowers. And again, you can see I've got the overlapping. I didn't train it like that. It's been here for years. I've got to reshape it. I don't like them overlapping too much unless it's done purposely like a plait. We've got 2 straight ones here. This one growing through, crossing over the other side. I've got new ones coming up, so I am going to be replacing some of the old wood, but I need to establish the young ones again, and that's what you got to do. So you got to thin out the weak and let the new ones take over. You can see some new ones coming on here. Now I've left one on this side, one over there. Indecisive as far as which one I'm going to keep, but I'm working at it. At the moment they're small enough so I can keep them all, and then I'll decide as it starts to grow to see which one will be the stronger one out of the 2. And make sure, folks, whenever you're pruning, your tools are always sharp and clean. Now I love my Lowies, I love my Falco, but I stumble across these ones here. Now what I've got on me here is a cheap version of those quality tools. Now I know not everybody's going to be an expert in the garden or practice pruning every day of the year, and I can understand where you can't justify spending a lot of money on a pair of secateurs like 70, 80, 90 bucks, 100 bucks. These ones here are a quarter of the price and just as good in quality. I don't know the longevity of them, but I can assure you from just trialing them here at the moment, they cut like butter as well. And the thing is, you can sharpen them. So the tool itself is not a cheap quality make as far as the still's concerned. It comes with a little sharpening blade too, or stone, and you can just basically sharpen like this as well. But what I love about this little tool here is that you get a little oil pad at the bottom of it. So you fill it up with a little bit of oil in there, and then at the end, just run it across the blade so you can clean it off like that nicely, and just put it back on. So this and this comes with a pouch, which is pretty cool, huh? Ricer does a great job. I actually love their range. So this is what I'm wearing at the moment, or trialing at the moment. If you're going to be doing 1,000 cuts every season, maybe go with the Lowies or the other ones. But if you're just doing a little bit around your own garden, typical house block, courtyard, there's nothing wrong with these. It comes with a pouch, and it also comes with a folding saw. This is an amazing saw, actually. I was quite impressed on how well it cuts. It's all in a shark tooth there. Look at that. That's scary. That'll cut through stone, I reckon. Not that I'm going to try. This is what I use to prune all my large limbs and all that. I use Falco's ones and I use Ricets, and both, I can assure you that I think they're pretty good. Almost as good, if not as good as Falco range. So if you're looking for a good range of tools, gardening tools, that you don't want to spend too much money on, we've got this little pack going on at the moment. So it's a cutting and pruning with a little sharpening blade and a pouch to walk around and do your prune. More importantly, get out there and prune your roses if you haven't done so. And if you're going to prune a climbing rose, take some pointers on this if you think I've done it right. If you think I've done it wrong, just have a laugh, like I am at the moment. But I'll see who's going to be laughing last when this comes into bloom in springtime, eh? And if you're looking for some great products, check out our website, vasilisgarden.com. We've got plenty of specials. They're running all the way through to the beginning of springtime. Don't miss out. 70% off, up to 70% off everything online. That's vasilisgarden.com. From me, Vasili, Maresi.